Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. Website on the back, chroniclebooks.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you want to. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Websites are torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk, and watkinspublishing.com. Okay. What do we have for Gemini? Like, why am I all over the place all of a sudden? Well, okay. Ooh. A card fell out while I was shuffling. Guess I'll mention that now. It's the Hermit card reversed, which tells me, to me, my first thought was truth is being revealed. I'm also seeing the Justice card pop out, so to me, like, the truth is really coming forward and justice is being served because of it. Okay, so this is the strongest part I'm hitting. You're about to see this. I feel like this is like I wanted to call it, say it was like catnip to a cat. Catnip, is it catnip, right? That's a thing. I don't know why my brain is questioning it right now, but like this is like probably this is a bad analogy, but I keep thinking it. This is like your drug of choice. When more information just keeps coming your way, and it's almost like a puzzle that just keeps like revealing more. It's kind of like the more you discover, the more you realize there's more to discover, and then you discover more, and you realize there's even more to discover from that. It's like, it's kind of addicting. It's kind of like, ooh, tell me more. Tell me more. I don't know why, but I want to know more. Just tell me more. I need more. I need to find out more possibilities, more answers. The fact that there's so many layers of this, I feel like is very addictive. Because especially one of the things that's tying you to it is there's been something in the past that just didn't sit right with you. It's kind of like one of those things where you were trying to figure out an issue and you're like, well, I can see how it would go this way, or I can see why it went that way. I can see why this might be why that happened, but there was never really any clear definition about why things were the way they were and how this is working with that and why that's even allowed. Why that's even allowed. So there's been kind of like, yeah, I can kind of see where that would come from, but it doesn't quite sit with me well. It seems like something's still out of focus. And then you're starting to find answers. Why are you finding answers? That's my question. Is this a good energy for Gemini? I just get this weird feeling like there's a grudge holder is what I keep feeling. Is this a good energy for Gemini? Let's just go there. Justice card reversed, and then the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles comes in, halfway out, which makes me feel like with the Justice reversed especially, and it's coming on top of this Three of Pentacles. Somebody's a grudge holder. I feel like somebody's trying to find something out, and they're using you to their benefit. Which, as long as you see it what it's for, if I said that right, as long as you see it for what it is, maybe that's a better way of it, I don't know. Then okay. If you see it for what it is and you decide what you want to do with it, but you see it for what it is. There's a grudge holder energy here. You're of value to them as long as they get what they want. So once they feel like they've gotten what they want, they might just kind of, I don't know. I just see it for what it is, you'll be fine. See it for what it is, that's all. Not really warm and fuzzy about that, but who would be, right? Why is this here? There's something isn't right. That grudge holder person, I don't know if you really want to be associated with that, just to be fair. I mean, it's interesting to get answers, but, like, something is about to show itself. Judgment is coming forward. I already warned you that justice was showing up, right? The truth is coming forward. Judgment's coming forward. Justice is coming forward. I'll show you the justice card. The judgment came up on the dice. Um, who is the real victim here is the question. That grudge holder is really slippery. It makes me nervous that somebody's playing the, oh, look what they did to me card. You know what I mean? As if, it's just like, I just, woke up today and walked into work and I got slapped in the face and I didn't do a thing to make that happen. Not validating somebody getting slapped in the face. I'm not saying that. But sometimes we do have to look a little deeper, like, well, what created that? Not in a blaming sense, but like, how did this happen? Because you might be able to say, well, that person isn't allowed to do that, so they're automatically wrong for doing that. And yep, they're wrong. We're not allowing people to slap people. But we may have bigger or different problems in the future if we don't find out what even created that dichotomy. Dichotomy, is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. What caused that situation to even occur? Like, why? It's not very likely that it was just like, hey, it's Tuesday, I need to slap somebody. You'll do. Bam. And it doesn't really seem that likely, There's probably a cause and effect to that, which doesn't validate what happened, but still, we need to know why something happened. We still need to know why. It's just we got to be careful with that. It feels like a slippery slope. We got to be careful. Why did something happen? We can't just go like, well, the outcome was wrong, so we're just going to walk away from it. No, why did it happen? There's more here. Because it does remind me of, I've seen people do this. I've seen this happen with married couples where some semi-behind closed doors, because I've seen it, obviously, one partner will start treating the other partner really, really, really poorly. We'll just leave it at that. And then a couple people will come to visit, and all of a sudden the person who was doing that really bad behavior, all of a sudden they're just perfect and everything is nice and they're please and thank you and all the other good crap. Meanwhile, they got the other one so upset that they're all bent out of shape and all out of sorts, and it looks like they're the one who's the problem. Meanwhile, what actually caused that to happen, it goes unchecked. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to air out their laundry. It just looks like the other person is just difficult to deal with, which is not fair. So I'm getting something along those lines with like the Eight of Cups and the Destiny, kind of like there's more going on beneath the surface. And this is why there's a lot going on beneath the surface. We're not validating bad behaviors and we're not looking to do that, but it's like we need to understand where this bad behavior is originating from, because it may be like, yeah, that's a bad behavior and that needs to be stopped, but we also need to know what's going on. Like the other part of this, the other side of this, there's more that needs to be corrected. You know what I mean? Somebody getting slapped in the face, we don't want to act like that's okay, but we also want to be like, well, if you're like sending somebody, demeaning messages or like attacking them when nobody's around, or like sending letters to this person constantly and they don't like it and it's upsetting them, like if somebody slaps somebody when they walk into work because they got a really vulgar letter from them, doesn't mean that was the right response, but that vulgar letter also needs to be addressed too. Like that's also not okay. You know what I mean? That's also not something that should be just kind of like, well, because they got slapped, we're just going to let it go. No, we need to say, hey, you can't do that either. Like, you both can't do what you did. Because I get the way this is hidden behind here a little bit. I feel like the actual problem is being hidden, and something might look like it's being solved that's not being solved. We got to find the underlying reason. Gemini can see so many angles. It's just following the correct one. That's all. Following the correct path to get to the truth about where this came from. You can definitely do it. I have no question about that. Gemini can see it. It's just making sure you find the correct path. Yeah, because I feel like there may be a period of time where people just act like things are okay and they're not. That's the problem. Don't get sucked into this. Be careful of the people warming up to you. They may be trying to get something out of you. Maybe they're trying to stack the deck in their favor. Maybe they're trying to find something to protect them. I don't know. Something isn't right. Something is really not right. Be careful, because you're going to discover stuff, but you're going to start... I feel like you're going to start getting it like, well, that plus that... Wait a minute. It's kind of like... 1 plus 2 does equal 3, but 1.7 plus 2.7, that actually equals 4.4. So it's kind of like, wait a minute. Did I do that right? I think so. So it's like it doesn't equal 3, it equals 4 because we were like pretending that that decimal point didn't exist. We weren't looking beyond the decimal point, and you can see beyond the decimal point. I hope that made sense. I used a math analogy. I don't know why, but I did. It's kind of like, yeah, 1 plus 2 does equal 3 if that's all there is. But if it's 1.7 plus 2.7, that's going to equal 4.4. We can't just ignore the extra piece here because it's just more convenient for us to pretend it's not there. We need to get a little deeper into this. Again, I see that it's coming forward. It is going to come forward. The truth is going to come forward. And especially when I saw this fall out upside down, I'm getting like it's coming forward full force. Something is going to be created from this. How is that going to affect Gemini? Is that going to depend on how you handle this part? Knight of Swords reversed and the Empress. Yeah, the Empress comes in, halfway out. The Knight of Swords reversed is kind of like, be careful what you say. Be very objective. Be very objective and be careful. Don't pick a side. I think that's what it is. Do not pick a side. Be objective only. Completely objective. Do not pick a side. Be very careful of that. The Knight of Swords reversed. You gotta be careful what you say. Be careful what you say because I feel like people are gonna try to twist it. Be objective. Be conservative about how much you talk about the situation. You're gonna say what you're gonna say, but be more on the conservative side when you can be. It's I don't know, that one person who's like, I feel like they're a manipulator. I don't know, that grudge holder, manipulator energy, something ain't right there. They're going to try to use you to their advantage, and if they can dump the responsibility on you, at least partial, they will. They have no problem with that. I keep feeling that. And it's nice to be valued, and I'll acknowledge that. Somebody valuing you, I feel like there's some reason where this is like somebody valuing you and showing you that they understand that you see more or that you're more intelligent than people give you credit for. I feel like that happens a lot to Gemini, where Geminis are extremely intelligent, but they're not treated as if they are, which kind of becomes a problem sometimes. That's not always the case, but it seems like that happens more than not. It's even though somebody's treating you well, see it for what it is. Be careful. After the end result of this, does that have to be that way for Gemini? There's a lot of random things coming in later. I really be objective. Don't choose a side. I keep getting that. It's the best thing I can tell you because the Temperance card coming in with the Knight of Swords, I don't feel that working to your benefit because I feel like the board keeps changing. The game board keeps changing. The game board keeps changing. And even though you're very quick and sharp, it's kind of like a smart decision you make today might double back on you tomorrow. The more objective you stay with it, the easier this goes. It's quite a mess. Stay objective, don't choose a side. That's the best I can tell you. I feel like the warning of this reading, if it's hitting, of course, it's going to get messy. There's no way around it. If you stay objective, and the more conservative you can be with what you say, because you're going to have to talk about it at some point, but the more conservative, the more objective, don't pick a side. I feel like you'll be okay. The easier it'll go for you. If you choose a side, I don't see that going well. No matter what side you choose, I don't see that going well if you choose a side. Yeah, because there's a lot going through. The workaholic makes me feel like this is going to get drawn out. It's going to get quite messy. They keep changing the board. It's like not even just changing the board, changing the rules. It's kind of like we're playing Monopoly, now we're playing Sorry, now we're playing Racco, now we're playing something else. We're playing Payday, we're playing blah, 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 whatever else you got going out there. We got Phase 10, we got Farkle, whatever you're doing. And we keep changing the game. It's kind of like, well, the points I had were for that game, but now they got wiped out. Like, I don't know what we're doing. And you can keep up with it and you can follow it, but it's just kind of like if they keep changing the rules, it's like if you're trying to play Monopoly and you're trying to save your money to buy a property and then all of a sudden you're not even playing that game, it's like, well, okay, the work I did for that just went out the window. Now you try to get used to this game and then like, well, the work I did for that just went out the window. It just keeps changing. It's a very slippery situation. The best I got for you. Stay objective, be conservative about what you say. It's going to get really messy. That's what I got. I think I'm trying to look for like some type of silver lining, and they're like, well, maybe later. Maybe later. Sorry. All right, it is what it is. I'm going to let it go here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.